Okay guys, so this video is on proteins as enzymes. So we've been learning about all the different macromolecules, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids are, well, I'm posting this today, so they're today's lessons. And I just want to make this video on enzymes because they're a really special kind of protein. So remember, enzymes, they're actually they're proteins. They're just a specific kind of proteins. So specific type of protein. And so they're made in just the same way that all other proteins are. They're just a long chain of amino acids. They're a polypeptide. Remember, a polypeptide is just a long chain of amino acids. And then remember, they fold into a specific chain or a specific shape, and then you have your complete protein, right? So enzymes are, they catalyze chemical reactions, and they increase the speed of chemical reactions. And so if you were at Class Connect or watched the recording, which hopefully you did, I showed this graph, and we had, this would be progress of reaction on the x-axis, and this is a really common abbreviation for reaction, RXN. So if you ever see that, especially in science, it means reaction. And this would be on the y-axis energy. So the higher you go on the y-axis, this would be increasing energy the higher you go. And then you saw a graph that looked like this, and we went shoo, way up here, and then down to here, and then we had another one that went like this, and then there was like a dotted line, and then it went down to here. And this would be without enzyme, and the dotted line here would be with an enzyme. So this would be like the progress of a chemical reaction with and without an enzyme, right? So you'd have your reactants here, and your products would be here in a chemical reaction. And if you did not have an enzyme, this is called the activation energy, would be much greater. You would need a lot more energy to make this reaction happen when you do not have an enzyme compared to when you do have an enzyme. And you can think of this, to start a chemical reaction, you need at least this much energy right here. If you do not have that much energy, the chemical reaction will not take place. When you have an enzyme, it reduces the amount of energy you need, right? You need a lower amount of energy for the reaction to happen. Instead of having this much energy, I only need this much energy for the reaction to happen. And so the reaction speeds up, it goes faster because you get this much energy a lot more often than you get the higher amount of energy. It's much easier to get a lower amount of energy than it is a higher amount of energy. So the reaction goes a lot faster. And therefore, enzymes speed up chemical reaction because they lower activation energy. That's the reason. They don't give energy to the reactants. They do not provide any energy. They just lower the energy required for the reaction to occur. They lower the activation energy. So enzymes do not provide energy. Energy. They lower activation energy. There we go. They lower activation energy. Okay, and this was there was some confusion about this part in the Class Connect session. That's why I'm stressing it, is that some of you thought that somehow the enzymes are providing extra energy, and no, that's not the case. They're not giving any more energy. They're just decreasing the amount of energy that's necessary. They're lowering the activation energy, so the reaction proceeds faster. And they do this in a variety of ways, and there's it goes into a little bit of detail in your lesson. But you don't necessarily need to know in deep detail how the enzymes do that yet. You will if you continue on and take science and biology and chemistry in college.